Welcome to a KUSI News special, Decision 2010, the primary.
And we're joined by two guests right now for San Diego City Council. We've got Kevin Faulkner from District 2 and also from District 6. We've got Lorie Zapf with us. So, Kevin, let's start with you. You had two opponents. Did you expect to pull it off tonight? I think that was the prediction. It hasn't been made official, certainly.
Well, we're very encouraged with the results so far, Heather. And obviously with two opponents, so you don't want to call anything yet. But I'm really delighted with the results thus far, and really the focus that we did on our campaign, which was to continue the financial reforms that we've made at the City of San Diego to keep us on track, keep the city living within its means. And I think thus far the message that we've heard tonight is voters want us to continue that course. And so
that course also means more cuts too, right?
You know, it does, and we've made some very tough decisions in terms of compensation cuts and some other things that frankly the city is no different than any other small business. We have to live within our means. I focused a lot on that during my campaign. Now is not the time to be raising taxes or other things that people have been talking about, and thus far I think the results are very encouraging. The voters have agreed with that.
All right, let's talk to Lorie Zapf right now. You were kind of considered right now, the results that we're looking at, kind of a surprise in some ways. We're talking about Donna Fry's seat. She is termed out. This was a crowded field of 5 candidates, and right now, as the polls are, the precincts are coming in, you have the lead. Likely runoff in November, it looks like. But what do you bring to the table for the council?
Well, first of all, it's thrilling to be here, and it seems like the message of continuing reforms, more meaningful reforms, is resonating with the voters. That's what I bring to the table. What have
you done differently than other council members who are running for the same seat?
Well, I'm the only one with a business background. I'm a businesswoman. My husband and I founded a company. I have created private sector jobs. I've met payroll. I have generated tax revenue for the city and the state. And I'm the only one who really understands what it's like to be a small business and the burdens of taxes, regulations, and litigation. And we really need to make our city more business friendly.
And that's the one thing we hear in poll after poll that we see is jobs are the #1 issue across the country, and certainly here in San Diego. And not only that, people are saying, we've got to get this budget thing under control. We have to see some results because we're struggling. And this is an election about bread and butter issues, bottom line.
Absolutely. My goal is to try to have every business try to create one more job. And we need to eliminate wasteful spending and do performance audits and a lot of the things that they're already doing. But we need someone who is a strong advocate for that and who really wants to look after the taxpayers and bring the money into our communities and our neighborhoods and restore the police that we've lost and fix those potholes instead of the pensions that are just really robbing the community of our money.
Lorie, if you look at this statewide, there's kind of a resounding theme I'm checking on here. We're talking about Meg Whitman, a businesswoman rather. Carly Fiorina, another businesswoman. You, a businesswoman as well. Jobs, kind of the overriding theme, fiscal responsibility. What are Californians really coming out and saying right now?
They're saying they want common sense, business sense at City Hall. They don't want politics as usual. They don't want lifetime politicians. They want some new, fresh ideas. They want business principles brought into government. And this is thrilling. I've met both Meg Whitman and Carly, and I would love to be standing there with the three of us. I'm looking forward to it.
Got one quick question for Kevin before we toss to John somewhere. Kevin, the mayor mentioned that he had obviously several issues on his agenda. Some of the key issues here in San Diego, of course, a new Chargers Stadium, downtown library, and the expansion of the convention center. And everybody is concerned, is that going to come out of my pocket?
Well, I think the easy answer to that is taxpayers can't afford to spend any more money out of the general fund than they're spending already. And so you have to look at each of these from a business proposition, which is to say, does it make sense for taxpayers? And so I think if you look at it from the library, the civic center, potentially a new Charger Stadium, we have to look at those individually from a business standpoint to see whether it makes sense for the city and for taxpayers.
Even if it meant losing the Chargers?
Well, I'll tell you, we need to have a good deal for the citizens of San Diego. And the Chargers are very valuable. They are an important civic asset. We want the Chargers to stay, but we're not going to give away the farm from the city of San Diego. And I think that that's something that I feel very strongly about. But I'm also optimistic, Alan, that I think we can come to some type of an agreement that I think is a win-win. We haven't had a proposal yet. but I'm optimistic that we can. So hold on to that thought.
And real quick, David, talk about, or Kevin, I'm sorry, the changes to the council. It looks like, for where our numbers stand now, you may be sitting with 2 other brand new council members, Lorie Zapf, obviously one of them. From this standpoint, what do you make of that?
Well, there will be 2 new city council members, and I can tell you, if Lorie gets through, and I hope she does, I think she will be a breath of fresh air on the San Diego City Council. You heard her talking about her focus on jobs, her focus on, I know she's a strong supporter also of managed competition, which is something that has been stalled at the city of San Diego, which is the ability of the private sector to come in and compete for city services. That is something that has been delayed. It is long overdue, and we could save the city of San Diego millions and millions of dollars. I know Lorie supports that. I'm optimistic that we're going to get that through here in the next couple months.
Kevin and Lorie, both, we thank you very much. We wish you the best. We know you got a tough road to hoe, and it's time to do away with partisan politics.
Absolutely.
And think about the people.
Yep,
and I believe that's what it's all about.
Well said.
Thanks so much for joining us.